Is the media misleading you? Some of them. Are they going for the low-hanging fruit like they do in football with Tua contract talk or whatever? Because let me ask you something. What's been going on every year? Because now the latest is, well, Donovan Mitchell got eliminated yesterday, right? So now look out for Donovan Mitchell and the Miami Heat. And is that going on with Durant and everything else all the way up to Damian Lillard and by the way, Donovan Mitchell before that and all the other names that have been mentioned for the last 7, 8, 9, 10 years that never come here, by the way. None of them ever come here. And lately, they can't come here because Miami has no capital to trade. And when you tell me you have 1 or 2 first rounders to trade, that's not going to get you anything because they're constantly trading 4, 5, and 6 first rounders. So until you have that, you're not trading for a star. And I just think that we keep playing this silly game where you think it's the first 20 years where you were able to lure in the stars, but the only reason you've gotten stars lately has been only because of Dwayne Wade, not because of Pat Riley or his lack of trade value. He has no ammunition. None. And even the young kids aren't going to be enough. So why do we keep playing this silly ass game? And by the way, I have no interest in trading for a 35-year-old Kevin Durant. That's some stupid shit at that point too. Not that I think Phoenix is dead set on keeping what they have. They're going to try to add, some kind of complementary pieces because that's what that maniac owner is going to do. But in the end, I don't think Durant's the answer either. A broken down 35-year-old player who does get injured. And what is he going to do? Carry another 35-year-old player that doesn't want to play during the regular season? And now you're also going to give me this bullshit talk all off season about another whale coming here that is not going to come here because let's be honest, you have no trade capital. You haven't had trade capital for years. You don't have the trade capital that teams want. So let's stop it already with this. So stop telling me about Donovan Mitchell or anything else like that. You're not getting anything. In fact, it's time to do the right thing. Take the step back. Try to unload, if you can, Jimmy Butler. I know you're not going to be able to unload Hero because he's not worth anything right now. But focus on Hero and try to build up his value. So maybe next year you can sucker somebody to take him. It's time for the Heat to stop being delusional and start being more realistic. And it's also time for us, the Heat fan base, to stop being delusional and start being more realistic. Delusional is you think you have the trade capital when you don't. Realistic is saying, let's reset. Realistic is let's try to unload Jimmy Butler for future draft capital so we can have that leverage when the next time rolls around. We need to start getting realistic. And we're not realistic in the Heat world anymore. We think that what happened the last 5 years was real, and it was not. You got your break in the bubble. It was a scenario. It was a weird situation with the pandemic and everybody locked up and the Heat had the kind of culture that was better suited for that than everybody else. And unlucky for them, the injuries, because they literally could have won that one. It would have been a nice fluky championship that they weren't talent-wise, they weren't the best, but the Ducks fell in place. The stars aligned. And then last year you had the Giannis break. Meanwhile, your star has purposely missed the last 2 regular seasons. And somehow or another, delusional steps in. No, we'll be fine in the postseason because that's the norm. To go to the play-in and work your way up to the finals. Everybody does that all the time. Delusional. It was a great run. It was flukish. The big 3, nothing flukish about that. That was real. Hardaway morning era, that was real. They couldn't get over the hump because there was a guy named Michael Jordan in the way. What are you going to do? Ask the Knicks, the Pacers, the Cavs, the Jazz. All those teams had the same problem in those times. All those teams could have won a championship. I'm not saying they would have, but I'm telling you, the Knicks, the Cavs, the Heat, the Pacers, and the Jazz. If there was no Bulls, 1 or 2 of them easily would have won a title. Guaranteed. We all know that lived that era. Those are real. What happened the last 4 years, because this year doesn't count, it was fun. It was an awesome experience. It wasn't real. It was flukish, and we credit the best coach on the freaking planet for making something better than what it really was. But that's not reality, and we can't keep giving him chicken shit and say, Spo, go make chicken salad because you know how to make chicken salad out of Whiteside and the Johnson boys. Holy shit. So I don't know, but I am calling some of you Heat media people evil because you're building up a fan base only to watch them get disappointed, thoroughly disappointed once again, because Pat Riley, unfortunately, does not have the ammo, and they are not realistically getting another star. And one more thing, since I'm the only one that's willing to say it in town, because I haven't seen anybody write it or talk about it, no star is willing to come here to carry Jimmy Butler during the regular season. And since they already had the conversation with he and his agent the year before, and they talked to him about playing more games, and the promise was there, and they broke that promise, we all now know that, you know why the promise was broken? Because Jimmy Butler can no longer play like he used to anymore, because he's no longer a star. A star carries you in the regular season and in the postseason. And he can no longer do both. In fact, this year, he couldn't do either. So, Heat Nation, let's stop with the delusional approach. Heat team, stop being delusional. Let's get realistic and let's take a couple of steps back, i.e. 2008, so you can take a couple of steps forward, i.e. 2010.